Hello, it's Jansen, and I have 3 blueprints tips for you that I hope will help you on your next run with no spoilers so you can get to room 46 a little bit easier. After a couple of weeks, I finally rolled the credits on Blueprints, the indie roguelike game that is sweeping the internet right now, and I will say I had a lot of fun, even if at times it was a little frustrating because it was so challenging. But the challenge is what really made the game so great. However, I wanted to share a few tips that I learned along the way so that hopefully you'll have a wonderful experience as well. Tip number 1, build. Sounds so simple, so what do I mean? What I mean is that a lot of this game is just figuring out what rooms there are, what these rooms do, what they have inside of them, the puzzles that are there, and using that information in future runs. The more floor plans that you can draw, the more variety you can get on the board, and then the rarer floor plans you will see. But to see those floor plans of higher rarity, you have to build. Yes, you can see these rare floor plans early on in a run, but you increase your chances if you can build 10, 15, 20 floor plans in a run at a time. The more floor plans you can build in one run, the better your chances of seeing a floor plan you've never seen before, and thus unlocking something you've never had before. Even if it might end your run, I'm always a fan of taking that floor plan I haven't seen just to find out what it does, what's in there, and how can it help me in the next run. You have to remember, this is a roguelike where the permanent upgrade is knowledge that you're gaining from each and every run. So a lot of times, choosing a floor plan that you haven't seen before or finding out one extra secret in a room that maybe you have been in a few times is more important than trying to make that straight run to the antechamber. So again, build. Even if it means your run might end this time, I promise you it's going to help you out on a later run and get you all the way there. Tip number 2 is in the same vein, and that is to start with a solid base. What I learned after several runs in this game is that it does me very little good to build straight north and try to make a run for the antechamber without going around it all, because you need resources. You need money, you need gems, you need keys. To get these resources, you need to build some lower level and less rare rooms. Plus, if at a certain point in the game you're able to upgrade some of these lower level rooms, even better for those longer runs. An early parlor with an opportunity for 2 gems, or a den which has a gem, or a room with an early key can really help you out in those runs. I always try to build to the left and to the right before I ever go forward, because you're not going to get very far without a key, without gems, because the farther up you go, the more likely rooms are to be locked. You're going to need a key, and the more likely you're going to start finding better floor plans, which are going to take some gems. It's also important to build out to the left and to the right because you want to fill out those edges as well. Certain rooms only spawn in certain parts of the game, and that means the edges are important, the middle is important as well, but you want to fill as many squares as you can, and that means building left, building right, getting that solid base, then you can push forward. And that brings us to tip number 3. And honestly, this is one of the hardest ones for me to do, but I also think it's one of the most important. You have to focus on one objective at a time. Yes, the entire objective of the whole game is to get to room 46. To get to room 46, you have to get to the antechamber. To get to the antechamber, you have to do a lot of other things. So you kind of see where I'm going here. Focus on one thing at a time. And that's really just discussing the main objective. As you start to explore the house and the grounds and everything else, you'll start to realize there's a lot more to this game than just getting there and doing the main storyline. And that's why you have to stay focused. On this specific run, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to go directly to the antechamber and to room 46? Are you trying to get to a certain room and make sure you build that floor plan? Are you trying to figure out a certain puzzle in a specific room? Are you trying to just explore and see where this run goes? All of these things are fine, but you can't do them all at once. I know from personal experience that near the end of the game, or at least the main game, I was trying to do so many things and it was holding me back. I'm trying to push this lever over here. I'm trying to make sure that this thing goes down there or find this door over here, and I needed to zero in on what my objective for that run was. I finally ended up beating it and doing the objective I wanted, which was the main story, because I locked in, I zeroed in, and did one thing at a time. I built my floor plan to get to room 46, which means getting to the antechamber, and so that's how I focused my run for that specific time. If I want to do all the other wonderful puzzles, that's fine, but I told myself you can do it after you beat this main game. Now, not everyone's going to have that specific strategy. Some want to do the side quests first. That's fine. That's actually great. Please do that. Discover all the lore of this game. But I'm saying you should focus on the side quests, then focus on the main quest. So essentially, focus on whatever you want to focus on. Just do that thing for a few runs, see how it works out. And since you stayed this long, how about one extra tip that has some real merit? This one's a little in the weeds of the actual gameplay, but dead ends. You need to be strategic about where you place them. It took me a while to realize that when you're going through a run, you only have one of each floor plan. So once it's used, it can't be used again. That can be good and bad. For dead ends specifically, you want to try and use those early on if you can, so that you have more options later on with 2, 3, 4 doors and you don't get stuck. So if early on in the run you're running into a dead end anyway and you want to build a furnace, great idea. Use it there, then it can't come back to haunt you later on in the run when you really need to keep moving forward or to the left or to the right. So if you see an advantageous spot where you can place a dead end and it won't hurt you too much, go ahead and do that and it won't bite you later down the road. All right, we did it. That's 3 tips, really 4 if you stayed for this whole video on blueprints. Let me know what you thought about the game in the comments. If you liked this video, like the video, subscribe, and we will talk soon.